morning, welcome to my channel, Fat to Keto. My friends call me Jelly. I've used the ketogenic journey to lose 206 pounds, but I'm not done yet, and I'm holding some water weight. I did go off 20 net carbs yesterday and the day before. Well, at least I think I went off of it yesterday. Not 100% sure because I didn't add up what I ate. And you saw it. It was not a lot. It probably still was about 20 net carbs. What are we going to do for the month of January? Because, you know, the month of December has been all about just maintaining. And I did. I actually went down 4 pounds, 3 pounds, something like that. I did not go up. And that was the goal, not to go up in December. So what is the plan for January, you might ask? Well, if you've been watching some of my videos, you know I have gotten the new book with Dr. Westman and Amy Berger. If you have been watching a lot of my videos, you know that I get a lot of my, the way I do keto from Dr. Westman. I've even done his page 4. So they have a new book out called In Your Carb Confusion, because so many people do keto, so many people do low carb now, and everyone's telling you that you're doing it wrong, right? Their way is the only way. You know, no wheats, no grains, no this, no that. If you eat those, you're not keto, blah, blah, blah. And I say blah, blah, blah because it's not true. Keto is a process. Ketogenics is a process your body does. It runs off ketones instead of the carbs and sugars that you take in. So you could be a person who could eat wheat and still be keto. Will you feel as good as other people? Well, sure, if you have no wheat issues. If you have a wheat issue, then yes, you're not going to feel as good as not eating the wheat. But that has nothing to do with keto or not keto. It has to do with your body. So, don't let anyone tell you, oh, that's not keto. That's not keto. Well, see, the trick is, if you're running on ketones, you're keto. So, there are 3 phases in this book. January, we are starting with phase 1. Phase 1 is what people know as the new version that came out 2 summers ago of page 4. So anyone who wants to participate in this can. I am setting up the Discord so that once a week we can have a chat for the people who are actually doing it. So if you're doing page 4, that will include you too in phase 1 because it's the same thing. I'm also going to try to do at least 1 live a week. I think Thursday evenings were when people could last time do it. So let me know this time. I definitely want to do it for the people who are doing the phases with me. The difference about Discord is you will be able to get on a mic with me. I won't be on cam probably, and we can just talk on mics as a group, supporting each other, and you can even talk about stress in your life. It can be a little the way Weight Watchers used to be before they changed it years ago, where you went and you discuss what was going on, discuss if a food was bothering you, if you're having emotional distress, if your sleeping's messed up. You got to talk. It was a support system. They don't do it that way anymore. It's like a class you go to and you leave. Yeah. No, I'm talking about making the group so it can be a support system. You can tell us anything and none of us will judge you, and we will be there to help you. And if anyone does judge you that's in the group, well, they're not a good person. They can leave, right? Because it's not fair. We are not walking in anyone's shoes but our own. Okay? So, phase 1 is the strictest part. And if you're new to keto, might be hard for you. But remember, because you don't have to track it anymore in an app. This will do the tracking for you as long as you obey this. We're not looking at calories right now. We're not looking at, did you eat too much fat? Not enough fat. Did you eat too much protein? Not enough. No. We are only concerned about staying under 20 total carbs. That's 2 cups green leafy vegetables a day. That is 1 cup of non-starchy vegetables a day, like tomatoes, celery, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, all those kind of things. Mushrooms, bell peppers, they have to fit in 1 cup. So if you're having a salad like me, you kind of got to layer it to get it up in that cup. So I've done it so much, I know how many grams equals what to make my salad. Like, I know each thing. And I don't do 2 cups of the leafy like lettuce. It'll make me sick. I literally do about 70 to 90 grams, which is about a cup. I do 43 grams of tomatoes, 73 grams of cucumbers, 28 grams of cheese. That's 1 ounce, and you get 4 ounces a day. You get 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise a day. You get, I think it's 2 tablespoons of oils a day, 2 tablespoons of like a heavy cream or something a day, 6 total olives a day. Page 4 is on my Facebook group, and that is phase 1, so you can go look and see it for yourself if you want to follow. Okay, I know for sure I'm doing it the whole month of January, maybe longer, we will see. Phase 3, phase 2 is where we go up to 50 total carbs. So it's like what I've been doing in December almost, except I was doing 20 net, which brought me to 70 on some days. I will be testing my ketones and all of that every day. I also will be reviewing a breath ketone meter that I got from Walmart for $35. And we're going to see if it works. I'm literally going to compare it to the original Keto Mojo. I haven't got the new one yet because so many people are saying it's like 15 points off, which by law is perfectly fine. But I want to be more accurate. And the one I have is right on par. I've tested it over and over again with other other glucose readings, and it's right there. So, yeah, I'm not switching. I'm just going to have to pay more for my strips, right? So, I will put out a grocery list, probably in a day or so, of what I'm going to buy. Or maybe I'll probably go ahead and tell you what I'm going to buy, because I already know what it is. So, I'm going to I already have a bunch of chicken strips that I need to cook soon before they go bad. But for the first, I'm going to do a little meal prep, 4 days at a time. I'm going to make salads. So I'm going to meal prep 4 salads. I only do 2 ounces of cheese a day max because me and my body doesn't like cheese. I can't make omelets because my body doesn't like egg by itself for some reason. I'm going to try though, but I doubt it can happen. So, what do I have for breakfasts? Well, I have my collagen coffee. It's not in here, but I'm not giving up my collagen. It will equal total carbs because I've done it time and time again. I can measure it out and make sure that I stay in my numbers. So I'll be having my collagen coffee, and I'll have bacon probably in the morning. I'll try an egg or 2 to see later in the future if I can handle it without getting sick. I will not, so my breakfast is my lunch. You know, I have 3 collagen coffees. That equals 2 scoops of collagen a day. I only use 6 pats of sweet and low or some monk fruit. I use butter in it instead of heavy cream. A half a tablespoon of butter, so I will stay under my butter perfectly. I'm planning on doing the salad, and the salads are just going to have iceberg lettuce, tomato, cucumber, cheese, and that's probably it, because bell peppers make me crave pizza. Mushrooms sometimes gives me inflammation, so I don't want either one. So this salad will be you're gonna see me eat the salad a whole lot, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise for the dressing on it, with Italian seasoning. When I do boneless, skinless chicken breast, Italian seasoning. That's one of my meal preps. So it's gonna be like an Italian chicken, little mayonnaise type salad. I've done this before during the summer and lost tons of weight. I will have that 4 days in a row. Then I will switch over to the same salad, but using ground beef, sirloin ground beef. So it's a sirloin steak that I literally grind by my own machine, but you can have places do it like Fresh Mart does it, stuff like that. So I'm not really getting much fat in that at all. The fat will be the cheese that I eat and the butter. I don't need to add a lot of fat. See, that's what's the new keto that you see people do the last 2 years. They add all this fat and have fat bombs and all this other stuff. If you're at your goal weight, you might need those fat bombs, right? But if you're not, you don't actually need those fat bombs. I mean, maybe when you're first starting because you got to get your body fat adapted. But I have watched so many interviews with Dr. Berg and Amy Berger on this book lately, between podcasts, YouTube videos on Dr. Berry, so many interviews with them. And like he said, and she says, the original one, you didn't add creams, you didn't add oils, you didn't add fats, you didn't go for the fattiest meats, you didn't add all that. That's some new thing that people's made up the last couple of years. The ones who's been doing it originally for 20, 30 plus years, and some people even longer, they don't add the fat like that. And yes, it's still keto because you're running off ketones. Atkins diet is keto because you're running off ketones. Did you hear me? Atkins diet is keto. It's keto because you're running on ketones. Everyone's like, well, I don't do Atkins. Well, I do Atkins not keto, or I do keto not Atkins. Well, you're kind of doing both because you're running on ketones. So, that being said, phase 1 is a little harder, but you get to eat protein. There is no measurement of protein in here, all right? But remember, when you are buying hot dogs with all those weird ingredients in it, it might affect your weight loss. When you are buying a sausage, read. Hot dogs, read. When you are buying pre-made meats like that, you need to read because they will have carbs. Some has 4 carbs in it. Bologna especially. Stay away from bologna, especially German bologna. One little slice of German bologna normally has 6 carbs in it. Okay? You can have your deli meat, but it prefers you to pick like chicken, turkey, roast beef delis, things like that, because once you start getting into the salamis and pepperonis, unless they're a pure uncured one, they can have tons of sugars hidden in them. They have a lot of nitrates and stuff that might affect your body, or you might be perfectly fine with them. I am not fine with them, and they affect me like insanely. But I can do roast beef, and I can do the low sodium turkey. So you might see me doing those some days with some cheese, like a little cheese wrap. But I stick with Harvester or something. I don't know. Hanister. There's a cheese I like. Starts with a H. I never can pronounce it right. But that's usually what I use, or non-smoke provolone. But I always use organic. And Kobe Jack is always my shredded cheese. I have to use organic everything or I get really sick. I can't do growth hormones. I can't do antibodies, like antibiotics and stuff. Like, there is a lot of crap I can't do. You won't see me eat broccoli, even though for the first year keto, I could eat broccoli all day long. The last year, I can no longer eat broccoli. It causes severe, severe stomach cramps and issues and nausea and vomiting. Like, I can't do it. Same with my cauliflower. I barely can do it. I can get away with 83 grams anymore, and I'm in trouble. My stomach does not want to process those kind of foods. Now that there's no carbs in it and no wheats and stuff like that, really, I cannot process any kind of foods like that. Especially cabbage. I've never really been able to process cabbage. Except I can have a little purple cabbage in my salad. So you might see a little purple cabbage every once in a while. I would do carrots because it doesn't affect me. However, it is not on this list. So I will not be doing carrots. If it is not on this list, I will not be doing this. You can have your beef sticks. Just look at the carb counts. You can have your jerkies. There are no limits to this stuff. Pork rinds. Look at carb counts. Look and see if it affects you, though. It puts water on me, those kind of things. So they will not be in my list. All right. Phase 2, you really shouldn't get to phase 2 until you are about 20 pounds away from your goal. So technically, I could do phase 2. But there is a list in this book that you need to answer to tell you what phase you should be doing. And I have a lot of metabolic syndromes. So mine, when I check the list, it literally tells me I need to be doing phase 1 still, even though I'm about 16 pounds away from my original goal. So I'm sticking with phase 1, at least for the whole entire month of January, maybe longer. Remember, ibuprofen is going to slow my weight loss down because it stalls me, it kicks me, it puts water weight on, but I'm going to go ahead and still do it, even if I'm having to take the ibuprofen, because it is what it is. I said I was going to do it in January, and I'm going to. And if I don't lose weight, I'm going to do it again in February, depending on how much weight I lose. It's that simple. I'm just going to keep going. Then we'll move to phase 2 sooner or later. And you got to go at your own pace. Just because I moved to phase 2 or I can't move to phase 2 doesn't mean you have to or you can't. You can get ahead of me or behind me, because we are all different cars, like this book says, going to different locations. We have different wear and tear on us, and we all came from different locations to start with. So we don't have to be on the same phases. If I'm doing phase 1, but you're in a great position and you're on phase 3 or phase 2, then that's okay. You can be in the group too, and you can talk with us too, because you're still doing that part. And I will have a lobby in Discord where I will come in and out. You can type questions and all kind of stuff in there, and we'll have a voice area for people who's not doing this and want to just talk to each other or talk to me. I'm going to set up certain nights that I'll be in there, or days, so I can pay attention. I just think with the way the world is and how we're all kind of like stuck at home right now, that might be good and I should have done it sooner. Also, their chart for height and weight, they don't take in your sex or age. It's just height and weight. And it is shocking how much lower these numbers are than the numbers when you type on the computer for anything. Now, it's not taken in consideration if you have muscles and stuff. This is if you're a normal person without working out, building muscles, you're just like me. So, in phase 3 is not technically keto any longer. Phase 3 is a low-carb diet of 150 carbs. No more than 150, though, in its total. So you're going to have to decide when you're done with your weight loss journey, do you want to go low carb and do 150 total, or do you want to stay keto? And if you want to stay keto, you're going to have to play with numbers. You're going to have to play with your little ketone meetings, because you'll have to figure out how many carbs you can have for your body and stay in ketosis. Because I have so many underlying syndromes like polycystic ovary syndrome and a bunch of other crap, fibromyalgia, I will probably never get to be 150, but I could do it for holidays, right? I will probably have to stay under 70 total, or maybe even less than that on a daily basis, not for gaining weight purposes. This is about staying healthier and feeling healthier purposes. So I'm really excited. Like I said, my first week grocery list is pretty simple. Eggs, bacon, tomato, and only a few tomatoes because I only eat a tiny bit, a head or two of lettuce, a bag or two of shredded, well, I'm going to shred my own cheese, so I guess little blocks of cheese, like 2 blocks. I already have a lot of them, so a lot of the stuff I don't even have to buy. I plan on eating on my chicken, boneless, skinless chicken days, about 10 ounces of chicken in total, because I'm going to cook it all up in advance. So I'm going to cook a couple of pounds up in advance with no problem, like 3 pounds or so. And that way, if I get hungry during the day, I could grab one of the Italian seasoned boneless, skinless chicken breasts that has been air fried and eat it cold, because I'm okay doing that. That doesn't bother me. And then I'm not grabbing a jerky stick full of ingredients. I did order some chopped one. It's a good brand. It's grass-fed. I have no issues with it. It is a keto one, paleo, the whole 9 yards. So I did order some of those, but I'm only going to have 12 of them because they are expensive. So yeah, I'm just going to do stuff like that. I might even buy more bacon and cook bacon up and put it in the fridge for a grab and go. But we all know I'm already past all that. Let's be honest. I don't need grab and goes. I don't need little snacky things. I am in love with grabbing these snickerdoodle cookies over here, and that's perfect keto, and eating those for breakfast. But other than that, I'm just never, I can control my hunger. I don't have hunger, but I've been keto for over 3 years. So if you're just starting, we're not in the same boat. And I don't want you to compare yourself to me. I don't want you to say, well, she's not snacking. This says you can snack Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, you can snack, okay? Don't feel guilty for it. I know you're going to watch videos that will tell you every time you snack, you raise your blood sugar, which is true. But every time you drink a coffee or you drink that canned diet soda, you're raising your blood sugar too. If you have a lot of weight to lose and you're just starting keto, oh honey, I snacked my butt off, like around the clock. I did pitchers of coffee around the clock, plus diet, like Coke Zero around the clock. And I lost 120 pounds in my first year. That was actually in 8 months I lost that 120 pounds with tons of snacking. I mean, tons of jerky, beef sticks, pork rinds, you name it. This girl did it. Fat bomb after fat bomb. But I was 368 pounds. And I was coming from diabetes and everything else. So taking all the sugar out, that worked for me. So, not everyone in this world has to do keto to lose weight. This is just a thing, a diet that helps a lot of people feel better, get healthier, heal issues they have, and it's just easier because you're not as hungry. Some people have to watch their calories. Most people don't, especially when you first start keto, and that's why there's no calories. We're not counting calories or fat or protein. Just eat until you're satiated. Don't overeat, though. Don't wait and stop eating after your stomach's already in pain because you just ate too much. Stop before you get to that point. Because this is a mental thing, too. You got to retrain your brain. I can walk in my mother's house and take a bite of cake and walk away and never take another bite. But I used to sit and eat the whole cake because it had the power. You have to retrain your brain to remind it that food doesn't have that power over you. You're the one with the power. You have to take your power back. Take your power back from the food. Take your power back from your emotions. Take the power back from the person who just pissed you off, broke your heart, destroyed you, whatever you want to call it. Don't let them have the power by making you eat and get fatter and unhealthier and sicker, okay? Don't give them that power. That's what helped me the most. When I realized that eating that food, that cake, I thought was making me feel better and making me think I had the power because that person just called me fat or that person just hit me. Because yes, I was in a severely abusive, emotionally, physically encaptured, like imprisoned relationship that I don't really want to get into. Right now, I'm still not healed enough. And yes, that was 15 something years ago and I got away. But it's not something I can talk about still. But what I can tell you is they had the power over me because they did. And I couldn't escape. And then food, that's when I started to get fat after I escaped their clutches, right? And I then gave the power to the food. And every time I would get upset or scared, I wasn't an overeater. Most days I didn't eat at all. But I ate Little Debbie's or cakes. So I ate sugar. I turned to sugar to comfort me, to make me feel safe. But then guess what? I still didn't have the power. That food had the power. Or someone upsetting me and I'm running to that food. Both things had the power, not me. And I realized one day is I'm never going to be able to find a guy who's not going to abuse me, which I have now, but my history with men is horrible. And it's because I was weak and they could see it. Evil people can see the weakness in you, even if you can't. Everything had power. I know, I'm saying that word a lot, but it's true. And now, you could make me cry. You could hurt my feelings. But you can't make me eat cake anymore. No one can. You can piss me off and make me want to punch you. But I'm not going to go run to cake instead of punching you. I'm not going to punch you either. But the whole point is, everything made me want the sugar. So I could feel comfort and feel in control. But I wasn't in control, right? They were still in control because their action was making me want to run to food. And the food and that person had the power over me. And that's what's helped me in the last year. Okay, I've been keto for over 3 years, and the whole first 2 years, yeah, the weight was coming off, but the food still had power. If I tasted cake or a donut, I was eating donut after donut. Even like when I went to Hawaii, and he always was like, eat this donut. And next thing you know, for a whole entire month, I'm eating tons of donuts and all kind of crap, right? But now I can choose to eat a donut or take a bite and walk away, or not eat it at all, because the donut no longer, my brain just clicks as, do I want it or don't I want it? It's actually a choice now. And I think that's a problem for a lot of people that's overweight. I don't know for sure if this is your problem, so don't take offense to it. Is that we gave the power over to other people or to the donut. Okay, it's not wrong to eat that donut. It's wrong to let the donut make you eat it, right? Like if you're sitting there and you're craving it to death and you eat it, and then all of a sudden all you can think about is a donut, and you can't go back on keto, or you go get more donuts, who won? Either the person who made you eat it because they upset you and that's why you ate it, or the donut won. So for me, not saying it'll work for you, for me, I started associating it with power, because my power was stripped from me for many years of my life, that I want to be in control. I want to have the power of my own destiny, of whether or not I eat a stupid donut, right? I can decide, let's go get a donut. And yes, I'm using donuts because I love donuts. I absolutely love those little cream-filled chocolate icing donut. That is like paradise to me. Or a Lone John. I love them. And I have not had one in 18 months because that was my choice. And if I was to go get one today, which I'm not, that would be my choice. And I finally have the willpower to, and strength, and viewing it differently, that I wouldn't need a second one. I could go another year or two without eating a second one if I chose. Because I taught myself that it's about choice. It's about you choosing. That's why I don't call it a cheat anymore. Sometimes I'll say cheat for y'all because y'all just, know a lot of people don't understand. I don't call it falling off the wagon because for me, I'm not falling off the wagon anymore. I choose to take a stop off the wagon. Look at the scenery. Have a sugar picnic for one meal. I choose to get back on that wagon and drive down the street more. Maybe for the next year or so. Before I take another stop to get a donut. It's a choice now for me. And I can be honest and tell you, before it wasn't a choice. Before it had power. My emotions had power. And now I'm the one who has the power. It's not just about food. You got to change your brain too. You got to change your way of thinking. Because that food's been our comfort for so long. It's our security blanket, right? That piece of cake, that piece of Hershey Kiss, or whatever you want, mashed potatoes, that sub, because I was addicted to Subways. That has been our comfort food. That's been our best friend. It's always been there for us, right? It comforts us when we're happy, when we're sad, when we're lonely, when we have desires that can't be unleashed or anything. We turn to it to comfort us and wrap us up in its joy. But it doesn't do anything for us but punish us. It only makes us sicker. It makes us more isolated, more sad, and then we feel guilty for eating it and blah, blah, blah. So you have to learn to take the power and not feel guilty after eating it and not to binge. And if you're a binge eater, go buy yourself a snow cone machine. Okay, they're like $20 at Walmart. They got a shaved ice machine. Get yourself some Skinny Girl syrups or some vanilla extract monk fruits, little drops, different things like that. Because you can make a big, giant bowl of shaved ice and put a tiny bit of that stuff in there. And it will flavor the whole entire thing. Okay? And you can binge on that ice. You don't have to binge on actual food. So you can eat that ice. I don't binge on it. It's just I can't drink water without having horrible heartburn. It's how I get my fluid every day, is unless I buy the pH balance water, which I have ordered some for the month of January. I literally have to eat it very slowly as shaved ice. Otherwise, I will throw up the water. And I've tried all different brands. I've tried city water, well water. The heartburn is excruciating I get from it. I have severe GER. So I've learned if I eat shaved ice slowly with a spoon over like 30-minute time, I could get a good amount of water down that way. It's just coming as ice, but it still equals the same amount of ounces as if I was drinking water. But for some reason, it's not gushing through, so my body doesn't get the heartburn from it. But like I said, you could binge on some shaved ice, because when I was fat, I used to binge on shaved ice, but it was full of sugar. But this way, it's not full of sugar, and it's yummy, and you're getting your water intake. So I'm going to shut up because I made a 30-something minute video, and yeah, I probably won't include what I eat or anything today in this. I will just let this be what we're going to do for the month of January. I've already made the Discord channel. I just got to make the actual little channels inside it, and I will post it later in the future down in the description below on this video, plus all my future videos as soon as it's finished being made. I still got to do a few things to it, make a little headlining and stuff for it. So yeah, I think that's it right now. Other than my cute little Kohl's dress, I really can't stand up to show you it all. It's kind of all pushed up right now. It's extremely adorable. I got 3 different ones, and it's a small. I'm so glad I got the small. It flows away from my whole body and everything. It is really adorable. I really like it. So I am going to shut up, and I hope y'all all join me in January. And if you don't, still watch, because I am going to do ketones and blood glucose and weigh-ins every single day again. We're going to rock this. I'm also going to try to do my workout every single day again. My mom's been so nice. She's given me some extra money for my electric bill so I can raise my temperature up in my house, because 63, I was getting really sick. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was sniffling and coughing every day, and I haven't wanted to work out. But now that my house can be 70, and I didn't know the more electricity you use, the lower your kilowatt price is per kilowatt. So I used 300 more kilowatts this past month than I did the month before. But because I went over a certain amount, my kilowatt price per kilowatt went down. So it equaled the same price. And I was like, what? I was freezing myself for no reason. They give a discount after you reach a certain amount. I didn't know that. So I've never paid attention that much until this year. I've had to pay attention to everything very closely this year. This year is really rough on the bank. So, and even though I'm monetized on YouTube, they still haven't given me my pen to even get super chats that people gave me. I can't even collect any of that, because until they said they're running behind because of COVID. So until that happens, I can't even collect any of that. So I'm going to shut up, finish drinking that first collagen coffee. I've already had my little snickerdoodle protein cookies for breakfast. It is 2 something, almost 3. Maybe I'm going to go shopping. I don't know. I just need to get out of the house. Just feeling a little claustrophobic today. So, also, if you don't have this book, I'm really jealous, because Amazon just put for $25. I paid almost $40, and you can get it for Kindle for $10. If you're new to keto, this will break it down. He is the real keto doctor. If you watch Dr. Berger, go watch his interview with him. Even he's at all with Dr. Eric Westman, because he is one of the original ones. He is a researcher. He's an internalist. He is a diabetes doctor. He is a weight loss doctor at Duke University Hospital. So he went and found Dr. Atkins and wanted to do some research on his work back in the early or late 90s, and that's how this came about. It's a really, really, really good book. so. And I do not ever say books are good. Like, I usually find something wrong with it, a little too confusing, not entertaining enough, or loses me. And this thing, it's got some analogies. Can't even talk about cars. Okay, and I will probably always use that now. It's their analogies about the car. Starting at different locations, driving different kind of cars, whether new, old, problems, no problems, ending up in different locations. And that's what we got to remember about us. It's my favorite analogy I've ever heard for weight loss. So I am shutting up. Remember, don't let people tell you you're doing it wrong. Every single body's body is different. And you have to do what's best for you, your lifestyle, and your body.